Out on the homestead where life feels whole, we're planting seeds, nurturing the soul. Clean living, organic, straight from the land. With every sunrise, we take his hand. God provides from soil to sky, the food we eat, the herbs.
Welcome to the Healthy Homestead, first episode ever. Hope you enjoyed the introductory podcast that Lisa and I shared kind of our background and history and why we're doing this and what we're trying to accomplish with this podcast. This episode is going to be a part one, and part two will be coming out in a few days. Enjoy this topic because it kind of affects all of us. Hidden in plain sight, the toxins that are in our kitchen, bathroom, living room, even the candles that we light. We go into all of this and hope you enjoy this first episode. Just a word of note that anybody that attends our Barnside Chats live, which is a video call, we throw out a discount code for those viewers. So if you hear a discount code, it's probably expired. So make sure you tune in to the Barnside Chat, which you can find on our website, bffidaho.com, and enjoy our first episode. Lisa and I are super excited about having you guys here, and we understand that time is pretty much the most valuable thing that we have, and we want to give you guys all the kudos for making time. I think you're going to learn a lot, and I think it's going to be pretty beneficial for you. When Lisa and I bought our farm 6 years ago, we knew that we didn't want or like pesticides, poisons, weed killer, or anything like that, right? Especially if we're going to be consuming those. But what we were doing outside didn't necessarily match up with what we were doing on the inside as far as our own food and products and stuff that we use. So we really started to take a closer look at the products that we use in our house. And much to my surprise, like I think you're going to be when we start diving into our topic, it was scary. And prior to moving on the farm, and even afterwards, I think I fit into the category of everybody else. I ate fast foods. I was on many medications for sleep, anxiety, cholesterol. I ate mostly non-organic foods if we bought at the store. And although I don't think I felt horrible, I'm pretty sure I didn't feel great. And my blood work showed that it wasn't that great to begin with at that point. So my joints hurt, my feet ached. I relied on all these medications to suppress the symptoms, which is what medications do, unfortunately. And I weighed about 215 pounds. And I was also using products that, unbeknownst to me, are poisonous to the human body, and it kills us. And that's certainly not doing me any favors either. I'm just going to share this while I read, and then you can enjoy that. It's kind of embarrassing, actually, for me to show that. But so about 3 years ago, we really started shifting eating what we grow and what we raised here on the farm. Meat, chicken, turkey, pigs, veggies, all of that. And then I slowly eliminated all of my medications, and we met with a holistic chiropractor who put me on some quality supplements. And we then at that point also started replacing household chemicals and the products that we were using with safer ones and better alternatives, which is the bulk of what we're going to chat about tonight. But during the 3-year process, I had my hair tested at the start and then again on March of 2024. And comparing the before and quote after, I reduced my aluminum, which Lisa's going to delve into more, by 75%. Mercury was reduced significantly. Nickel, cobalt, lithium, boron, all of those crazy things that nobody knows about apparently moved into the normal and safe range. And in short, my blood work looked better than most 21-year-olds. There's still some areas that certainly is not perfect, but it's definitely probably the best health I've been in my entire life, and that includes the service. So We started, after I started taking a serious look at not only what I put into and onto my body, things really over the last 2.5, 3 years made a difference. I went from 38s to 30s in pants, and I'm holding steady at 160 pounds, which is about 50 pounds less, which is crazy because I lift 50 pounds all the time, and I can't believe that's what I was packing around. So it looks like I've finally reached my fighting weight. For what it's worth, that's my experience with getting rid of toxins out of my body and out of my home. And obviously, getting rid of some poisonous cleaners is not necessarily going to do that. But I did a lot of things, right? I started walking around more on the farm, but the biggest thing was eating healthy and getting rid of the poisons and toxins in my body. And although we could spend hours and hours and hours on just the products in our home, we're going to actually hit the highlights for popular products and go room by room. So we'll start in the bathroom, move to the kitchen, and so on. And also in the next week or so, we're going to have the Barnside solution sheet, which is going to be provided to you. It'll have clickable links for alternative solutions that we're going to share, and also links provide to you on how to. So if you want to make your own products and not have to buy them. And we will also be collecting a bunch of links to articles that we've read and know that it's from a valid source. And I think you're going to find it very, very useful. So you can take notes if you want, but everything is going to be really put together nicely for you. It's taken several hours to do so. So we're pretty confident that it's complete and worthwhile. And if you want that, all you have to do is email me or use the contact us on our page. So lastly, thanks for joining us again. And we're going to give you 20% discount off of anything you order from our country store. That is valid until Saturday. So it gives you a couple days to explore our store if you haven't already. And simply use the promo code Barnside Chat, all one word, all lowercase. And the only thing you can't use that on is the essentials oil page. So if you do end up ordering essential oils from our page, you're already getting a discount. So I just thought I'd let you know so you're not trying to enter this code on the essential oils page because it's not going to work. All right. Are there any questions before we start? I see a lot of shaking heads no. So Lisa is going to start off with craziness and toxins in the bathroom that you may not be aware of. Take it away, Lisa.
Before we do that, I'm Lisa with Back 40 Farms. We are located in Nampa, Idaho, and I would like to hear from everyone where you are at and your name. We know Ronald, Kern, and I are both in the same place. Janet, where do you live?
Hi, I live in northern Arizona.
Arizona. All right.
Yeah.
We live on South 40 Farms.
Also in Nampa.
And Lisa.
Okay. And if Deborah wants to message us where she's at, you're muted, Ron.
My bad. Deborah they are currently in Florida, but I believe they're moving to Arizona. So no need to message unless.
Okay. Got it. All right. So we are going to start in the bathroom. I have a lot to cover. We're going to kind of fire hose you with this information. Like Ron said, don't worry about taking notes. There's going to be a lot of chemical names that you're not going to know how to spell probably, stuff like that. But I just want to, like he said, we're going to kind of hit the highlights. Some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is in multiple kinds of products, from the bathroom to the kitchen to the laundry room, and all throughout your house. So once I talk about them, I'll repeat them, what they're in, but I won't, go over the explanation of them again. So first thing I want to talk about is toothpaste. And, don't know what your thoughts are on fluoride. Some people are unaware of fluoride's toxicity. Many people think that it is really an important ingredient in their toothpaste. But fluoride is a known neurotoxin, and it can cause acute toxicity, things like nausea, vomiting, and headaches. And the truth of the matter is that fluoride in toothpaste is in such a small amount that it doesn't do any of the enamel protective things that they claim that it's supposed to do in toothpaste. So why it's in there, it's completely unnecessary. They can't put higher doses of it in the toothpaste because it is toxic, and they know that. So it's really not necessary to have fluoride in your toothpaste, and it's kind of a bad thing. So that's number one. The next thing is triclosan, and that is actually a pesticide that's added as an antibacterial agent. So I'm going to talk about triclosan in several products, but just know that it's in a lot of antibacterial things like antibacterial hand soaps, kitchen soaps, stuff like that. But it is also in toothpaste, some toothpaste. It is known to be a hormone disruptor or an endocrine disruptor. And it actually has been banned by the FDA for use in soap and body wash. But apparently it's okay to put it in your mouth. So explain that one to me. And so that's something to look for in your toothpaste. And then the next one is parabens. It's a preservative. It's found in most cosmetics and many grocery items. Another hormone disruptor. And most products that you read about will say, okay, well, maybe we have parabens in it, but it's in such a small amount that it won't be toxic for you. Well, the truth is, it's in so many products that the accumulation of it from all the different products that you're using can be toxic. So it can cause all kinds of problems, and it's sometimes hidden under, like on the label, you'll read where it just says fragrance or perfume. And so you can have a paraben-free product, but it can still have parabens in the fragrance because they're not required to disclose exactly what the fragrance is made of. So it kind of sneaks in that way into a lot of products. And we'll talk a lot about fragrance in other sections of this talk, but that's a really big one. So let's see, the next one is DEA. It has a longer name that's short for something, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It'll be on the outline if you want the outline. Another hormone disruptor. It can react with certain substances to create carcinogens and is known to cause organ system toxicity. So yuck, right? All of these things in our toothpaste that aren't really needed. And most cleaners, whether it's cleaners of your body, your hair, your teeth, your laundry, whatever, has a lot of unnecessary ingredients in it. And there's lots of ways to either make your own or find products that are clean. And the good news is that in the industry overall, there's a lot more awareness about it now. And so companies are starting to feel the pressure from consumers to clean up their stuff. So the good news is that there are lots of clean brands out there. You just have to read the labels or ask them questions if you can't tell by looking at the labels. But there are several clean brands. One that we've used for a long time is the doTERRA brand On Guard toothpaste. There's Dr. Bronner's, which I really like. There's one called Pearl Teeth Paste. And again, you can make your own. So like Ron said, we'll have links for some of the products and as well as some of the DIY ways to make some of these things for yourself. So that is toothpaste. The next one is soap. And soap can be bar soap. It can be liquid hand soap. It can be body wash, whatever kind of soap you're using in your bathroom. The number one thing in soaps, again, what do you love about your soap? It smells good, right? That's the fragrances. And the fragrances contain a substance called a phthalate. And that is another endocrine disruptor, a hormone disruptor. It's known for reproductive toxicity. And it's in most synthetic fragrances. So if your stuff is fragranced by natural essential oils, stuff like that, then it's safe. But most stuff is synthetic, almost everything that you can buy in the grocery store at least. So phthalates is number one in soap. And then there's something called toluene, and that's a solvent. So that has neurological and developmental effects, fetus development, stuff like that, young children. And who wants solvent in their soap anyway? Synthetic fragrances, I already touched on that. That can be phthalates and parabens, like we talked about already. Dioxane, it's a byproduct of cosmetic ingredients. That's a possible carcinogen. And then other DEA, like I talked about before, related ingredients that are hormone disruptors and carcinogenic. Triclosan, again, pesticide, and many other substances like dyes, urea, and alcohol that can cause skin irritation and allergies. So what's the solution? You don't want all that garbage in your soap. Again, there's a lot of clean brands out there. Look for ingredients like goat milk, tallow, coconut oil or olive oil, and essential oils. And especially stay away from antibacterial products. That is a problem because people that are constantly using antibacterial products, it basically creates resistance in the germs, and then we have superbugs, and they become harder and harder to overcome. It's better.
Isn't that what happened with COVID, right? Everybody in the world had antibacterial soap everywhere and it was kind of doing the opposite. Sorry to interject.
And things like hand sanitizers and all of that. We have this really germ-phobic kind of society, and not that germs are great, but you can build up your immunity better if you're not using antibacterial products. All right, so that's soap. Next one, shampoo and conditioner. So a lot of the things that we've already talked about: parabens, phthalates, formaldehyde, triclosan, alcohol, fragrances, colors, toluene, and sulfates. Some other ones that we haven't talked about yet: polyethylene glycols, or PEGs. That's a derivative of petroleum and a thickening agent. So if you have any kind of shampoo or conditioner that's supposed to be helpful for thickening your hair, it probably has those PEGs in it, and that can be damaging to your scalp. Another one is retinol palmitate, which can cause skin itching, redness, scaling, and peeling. And it may also cause cancer, reproductive problems, and toxicity to organs. Lovely, huh? Another one is resorcinol, which can cause functional disabilities of the immune system. And in animals, it causes thyroid function disruption. So, look for stuff that's clear of that. I haven't seen that one on a ton of labels, but obviously that's a known one that causes issues. Selenium sulfide, another proven carcinogen. Lab tests on mice show the development of tumors when exposed to this, and it's usually found in dandruff shampoos. So it's not in every shampoo, but especially in dandruff shampoos. And then another one that's really common is quaternium-15. It's a surfactant and a preservative. And ammonium salt that is carcinogenic, and it is also a formaldehyde releaser. So a lot of the products that we're going to talk about may have formaldehyde as an ingredient, but it can also be ingredients that are formaldehyde releasers. So they create formaldehyde when they're used. And obviously formaldehyde is nasty stuff. So solutions for shampoo and conditioner: choose a sulfate-free formula with mild surfactants. And any kind of cleanser that you use, any kind, is going to have surfactants in it. That's what causes the dirt and oil and grease to be separated from the surface, so you can easily wash it away. But look for the ones that are mild or plant-based. Something that's sulfate-free. Look for oils like coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, palm oil in your conditioners that help nourish your hair. And hydrolyzed keratin is an ingredient that you can opt for in your conditioner that repairs damaged hair. So you don't necessarily need all these chemicals to still be able to have healthy hair. Just look for the more natural occurring substances like the oils and milder plant-based options. All right, big one, antiperspirant. Don't use it, just get a deodorant. That's the basic summary of that. No, it contains parabens, triclosan, phthalates, propylene glycol, and one that we are yet to touch on, which is aluminum. Lots of info regarding toxicity from many sources about aluminum. It's in everything. It's in the outside, it's in the inside, it's in a lot of products. We will have a link on our sheet that links to a National Library of Medicine article that talks a lot about it. So, it's kind of a controversial thing when it comes to antiperspirants, because Some people say, oh, there's not enough in it, or it can't absorb into your skin to cause the problems. But that's really debatable. And since everyone, almost guaranteed everyone, is aluminum toxic already, there's no sense in adding more of it or having the risk of adding it, right? So good solutions for antiperspirant, just use a deodorant instead. Most deodorants do not have the aluminum in them. So there's a lot of newer companies available also due to the awareness of this issue. doTERRA tubes is one. There's a brand called Native. So yeah, there's lots of options out there. You just got to read the labels, or do a little bit of research online, and you can find really good options for deodorants. Aluminum, I'm just to touch on it a tiny bit more. It's linked to Alzheimer's, especially, but lots of other stuff. And like Ron said, when he had his hair tested, he was off the charts in aluminum. And like I said, most people are. It comes down in acid rain. It's all over in the environment due to chemicals that are run off from, chemical companies or other companies that are producing things that contain it. So kind of all over the place, unfortunately, and it's not great. So, all right. And then baby powder. I don't know how many people use baby powder anymore, but unless you have a baby, but some people do. The main offender in baby powder is talcum powder, which is a clay mineral. It's a naturally occurring mineral. However, it can be an allergen to the lungs when it's inhaled. And so if you've ever, shook your talcum powder out and a puff of cloud comes up and you're inhaling it, that's really bad for your lungs. Potential carcinogen linked to ovarian cancer. And it also may be contaminated with asbestos, which often occurs naturally near talc deposits. So where they're mining the talc, there also may be asbestos close by.
And also in 2017, baby powder manufacturers shelled out $700 million in lawsuits that they lost. So that should tell you a little something about don't use it. Don't use baby powder. Period. If you have it in your bathroom, go throw it away.
Yeah,
there's no need with cornstarch based powders and other options out there. Don't mess with it. But a lot of people won lawsuits, and that should tell you something.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can write a check for $700 million is another one.
All right, Janet has to bow out. Thanks for joining us, Janet. We'll send you
I
all
will
the
be having a replay for this so you can watch the rest of it. Okay. Have a great night.
Thank you. So solutions for the baby powder, look for brands that use cornstarch, arrowroot or tapioca starch, oat flour, or baking soda. And again, a lot of awareness in this area has led to a lot of companies, especially for baby products that are made without talc. So there's lots of options out there that are better. And then cosmetics. This is the last one we're going to talk about in the bathroom. No category of consumer products is subject to less government oversight than cosmetics and other personal care products. Normally, I'm not a big proponent of government oversight, but when cosmetic companies are allowed to get away with putting stuff in their cosmetics that are as damaging as they are, there could be an argument made for, maybe a little bit more oversight in that area. Since 2009, 595 cosmetics manufacturers have reported using 88 chemicals in more than 73,000 products that have been linked to cancer, birth defects, and reproductive harm. There's all kinds of nasty stuff in cosmetics, and depending on where it comes from, stuff that's manufactured here or in another country, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to go through some of these ones you've heard a lot of times already: parabens, phthalates, formaldehyde, PFAS, which we haven't talked about yet, but I will in a little bit, and then platinum-15. Some other ones are mercury, which we all know is poisonous, known to damage kidneys and nervous system. M and O, I'm going to try to pronounce this, phenylenediamine, which is used in hair dyes, which irritate and sensitize the skin and damage DNA and can cause cancer. All of these chemicals that I've just listed have been banned in the European Union and many other countries, but they're still allowed in the United States. Lovely. Some of these chemicals do not have to be disclosed in the packaging because they are components of fragrance. Back to that again. Some of these things are hidden under the fragrance label, and when you read fragrance, you don't really think twice about it. But probably after this you will. So solutions, the good news is that many of these ingredients have been slated for removal from the store brands of major U.S. retailers, including Target, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and CVS. So in their store brands, they're slated for removing a lot of these poisonous things. Again, awareness is dictating changes in the industry, and many clean brands are becoming available. So there's lots of good cosmetic brands out there. I mentioned Tubes earlier. That's one of them that's really good, but there's others. And we'll provide some links again for some of these other places that are selling things that are much cleaner and nicer to use on your body. That's it for the bathroom.
All right. Well, let's shift. You might carry these items in the bathroom. Now, medicines, pharmaceuticals, prescriptions, that's like there's been thousands of books written on it. So obviously I'm not going to try to convince one way or the other, but I will share some things that you may not be aware of. I know I wasn't until I dove deep, which most people don't have the time. But when it comes to medicines, we are not against medications. I think there's a place for it, but what you should get out of this is read the label, do your research, and know that in most instances, there's an alternative that's not chemically made. There's many natural and holistic herbs, plants, powders, all of that can actually replace over-the-counter drugs. And I'm going to give you a couple examples that might go, holy cow, maybe Ron's not just, against medications, because I'm not. But Tums, right? Tums Rolaids. You take Tums because you ate too much or your stomach isn't feeling good, you're a little bloated. Would anybody like to guess how many chemicals or ingredients are in Tums? If you guessed 5, you're too low. If you guessed 10, you're too low. If you guessed 15, you're too low. There are 19 ingredients in Tums. The biggest one, the active ingredient, is calcium carbonate, which neutralizes the stomach and esophageal acid. Now, there's 18 inactive ingredients. And don't get confused. Because they're inactive, why are they there in the first place? Well, they're there to make color. They're there to make it easier to swallow. They're there to taste better, and a wide variety of things. But these are just some of what's in Tums. Adipic acid, cornstarch, 3 different types of dyes, which red dye was just banned. Today, thankfully, it's a start, but it probably won't make a huge impact. Flavors, mineral oil, sodium polyphosphate, sucrose, talc. Lisa was just talking about that. Dextrose, magnesium stearate, maltodextrin, crospovidin, or however you say that, acacia, calcium stearate, guar gum, microstilline, cellulose, and sorbitol. All of that is supposed to make your stomach feel better. There's a better solution than Tums or Rolaids. For me, and many people that have spoken with us, you grab a couple pieces of ginger and eat it. Ginger's just a plant. Well, it's a root of a plant, period. I like the sounds of having one natural ingredient better than 19. And if that doesn't kick in, digestin from doTERRA is typically what I try first. And if that doesn't work, I typically will chew on ginger. And those are just 2 natural remedies that I know work. There's countless others. But for me personally, those 2 do the trick, and it's pretty fast. Now, how many of us have an ache, pain? I mean, I'm old, so I have aches and pains. I'm on a farm, so I definitely have a lot of them. So what do you reach for in the medicine cabinet? Tylenol, right? Acetaminophen. It's used also to lower a fever. But if you look at the side effects, right? Don't take too many. Don't take over this amount. It'll cause liver damage. Don't mix with alcohol. And it also has a slew of other do not use this because type warnings. How many ingredients are in Tylenol, I wonder? Believe it or not, it's less than Tums, but not by much. And it has 15 ingredients, with all but one being, again, inactive ingredients. Tylenol typically is white, but it still has dyes in it. Don't ask me how or why, but titanium dioxide is used for the color white. It's also in a lot of cosmetics and over-the-counter medications, but nobody will likely, what?
I think it's in toothpaste sometimes.
Yeah, nobody will likely convince me that inactive ingredients aren't dangerous, because who knows if you are allergic to any of those. And anyway, it's kind of insane. One of the ingredients in Tylenol is polyethylene glycol, which, if you don't know, is like the number one ingredient in all constipation medications. But yet, this ingredient can cause cramping, bloating, and gas. Wasn't I just taking Tylenol because I had a pain and I didn't have constipation? Another ingredient is hypromellose, which is typically used, are you ready for this? In eye drops. Let's throw that in the Tylenol. So just know when you're taking Tylenol or other similar type medications, take the time and read the label, but better than that, use a natural method for pain and headache. I mean, if I get a headache, I'll try Past Tense. It's an essential oil blend, and you rub that on your forehead and temples. And that does help, but sometimes the level of the headache could be worse. Peppermint oil is fantastic for headaches because it increases the blood flow and it also relaxes the muscles. And guess what else ginger is good for? Headaches, especially migraines. It's really good at shortening the duration of a migraine and helps get rid of it sooner. Lavender oil is also amazing for headaches. And if it's a stress or tension headache, you don't even have to rub the lavender on. You can just inhale it and notice an immediate improvement. But I like to inhale it and then I rub it on my neck. And there's going to be a lot of more information on over-the-counter medications and offering much better solutions in our Barnside Solution C.
Well, right now is probably as good a time as any to stop. And part 2, which will be the continuation of this particular topic, will be coming out in a few days. So make sure you subscribe, and you can also check out our website at www.bffidaho.com for lots of resources, videos, articles, and more.
Out on the homestead where life feels whole, we're planting seeds, nurturing the soul. Clean living, organic, straight from the land. With every sunrise, we take his hand. God provides from soil to sky, the food we eat, the herbs that heal. In his creation, we find our way to live with purpose every day. The healthy homestead where peace is grown, a place of love, a life well known. Alternative paths where wisdom leads, nature's bounty fulfills our needs. Helping each other, sharing the light. In simple living, we find delight. God provides from soil to sky, the food we eat, the herbs that heal. In his creation, we find our way to live with purpose every day. The healthy homestead where peace is grown, a place of love, a life well known. With every plant, every tree, a reminder of his gift so free. From the earth beneath to the skies above, we walk this path in grace and love. God provides from soil to sky, the food we eat, the herbs that heal. In his creation, we healthy homestead where peace is grown, a place of love, a life well known. The healthy homestead, come and stay. Find joy in life, God's perfect way. The healthy homestead, come and stay. Find joy in life, God's perfect way. The healthy homestead.